Pwede po bang sabihin ninyo sa amin, Mr. Lopez, ito po tapatan, nakaharap po kayo sa taong bayan. Nakapag sinusuroy natin ang mahigpit na kautusan ito ng ating saligang batas, tatanggapin lamang po ba namin ang pagiging Pilipino ninyo? At tatakpan namin ang aming mga mata na kayo hindi Amerikano? Ganun po bang gusto ninyong gawin?
Alam niyo po, I am already 68 years old po. My record over the last 35 years is in the public records. You don't have to make a judgment without evaluating the evidence po. So if you look at that judgment, I stand by the record that I have put together in the last 35 years as chairman of ABS-CBN po. It is very clear what my actions have been. There is no question that there's a conflict of interest between my being a Filipino and being an American. Time and again, I have shown that my actions always favor the Filipino. That is why our saying, the mission statement of ABS-CBN is in the service of the Filipino.
I am not making any judgment. For the record, I'm going to say that, Mr. Lopez. But since it was you were the one who brought this up, sabi ko nga po kanina sa abogado ninyo, natutunan po namin sa eskwela na ang prinsipyo ng jus sanguinis is basically a legal fiction. I'd like to be able to ask you, Mr. Lopez, when you said that you will live and die as a Filipino, may I ask you if that claim for patriotism was supported by empirical evidence of allegiance to this country? You please tell us, briefly, how much have you done for the Philippines to merit an evaluation of your loyalty, your fidelity, and your allegiance to this country? You tell us. Those are big words. You wanted to live and die for this country. But citizenship is one, allegiance is another. They say that citizenship, Mr. Lopez, is better found, or the meaning of that can be found in allegiance, because citizenship is not convenience. Citizenship is earned, that is not inherited, technically speaking. You tell us now, Mr. Lopez, how much have you done so that we can sufficiently assert or even assess your allegiance to this country? It is your time, Mr. Lopez. Please tell us.
I agree, Your Honor, that citizenship should not be inherited. It should be earned.
Siguro po, gamit na po kayo. Hindi ko po talaga kayo, I'm sorry, Mr. Lopez, hindi ko po marinig talaga ang inyong, wala po ba kayong, attorney, bigyan mo naman siya ng mic.
How is that, Your Honor? Can you hear me now?
Yan, medyo malinaw na po.
I agree, Your Honor, that citizenship should be earned and not inherited. I believe that the actions that I've carried out throughout my career as the chairman of ABS-CBN merit that I have done everything I can for the Filipino. There are many instances of this particular fact. Perhaps we can just relate one event. Attorney Brosas, I believe, talked about the fact that when ABS-CBN was taken off the air, there were over 3 million Filipinos that no longer could receive any signal that allowed them to be informed about the issues that beset our country, in particular the pandemic. Those 3 million Filipinos live in areas that are outlying areas. Hindi po yon in the rural areas. These are out in the mountains. And these are places where we have put our signal in order to reach these Filipinos. Those signals that we put in these particular areas will not generate the kind of income that will allow you as a businessman to make an adequate return. We did it because we believe that the Filipino should be informed. And those are the people that are affected by the fact that the ABS-CBN has been closed. Hindi yan negosyo po. That was a decision that was made to extend our reach to the far reaches of the Filipino nation, even though we are not making money in doing it.
Mr. Lopez, ang allegiance po ay personal. Ang ginawa po ng ABS-CBN, nakapagpasaya sa tao, nakapagbigay ng inspirasyon, Yan po naman talaga ang tungkulin ng isang broadcast company. May television po kayo, may radyo. So kung nagagawa po ninyo yan, yun po naman talagang produkto ninyo. Diyan naman po kayo talaga kumikita. So hindi po yun ang allegiance. Ang ibig ko sabihin bilang kayo po, kasi ang issue po ngayon kayo, hindi naman ang ABS-CBN. Gusto naming malaman kasi, sino po ba si Mr. Lopez kung masusukatin po natin ay yung kanyang allegiance sa kanyang bansa? Mr. Lopez, would you believe, sir, that after ABS-CBN was granted a franchise of more than 50 years, this Congress has earned its right to know from you personally, how you participated in our political process? How did you pay your taxes? How do you value your oath as a Filipino? Ito po ang kailangan, Mr. Lopez. Ganito na lamang po, para siguro matapos tayo sa issue ng allegiance. Mawalang galang na po, Mr. Lopez. Pwede ba naming hilingin sa inyo na i-recite ninyo yung unang linya ng Panatang Makabayan? Unang linya lang. Congressman Sarate, baka gusto mo ng tulungan.
Take exception to the side comments of Congressman Marcoleta.
Baka lang gusto niyo pong tulungan.
I have my own time.
Iniibig ko ang Pilipinas.
Salamat po.
Mr. Speaker, I move to strike the statement of Mr. Marcoleta.
COMSEC is directed to strike out the previous comment.
Mr. Chair, may I the reason why that statement should be stricken from the record? I
Congressman
simply ask
Sarate.
our colleague if he would like to help.
I am not the one under interpellation, Mr. Speaker.
First of all, I'd like to make of record, nung tinanong ko po yung unang linya ng Panatang Makabayan, kinotes po nung abogado ni Mr. Lopez, yung iniibig ko ang Pilipinas. Yung pong abogado ang nagbulong sa kanya. Pwede na po ba akong magpatuloy?
Is that for
Mr.
the
Chair?
record? Is that for the record?
Just for the record, Mr. Chair. Pwede na pong magpatuloy?
Opo, Deputy Speaker, binigay ko
Salamat
na
po.
po sa inyong floor. Sa inyo po yan, bumbo.
Salamat po. Mr. Lopez, ang isa pong bansa, mapa-Amerika man, kahit ano pong bansa, nire-require po ang kanilang mga mamamayan na mag-profess ng 100 allegiance sa kanilang bansa. Tama po ba yun, Mr. Lopez?
Hindi ko po alam, Your Honor.
Opo. Ang Amerika po is requiring 100 allegiance from its citizens. In the same manner that our country, the Philippines, also requires the same total allegiance to it. Hindi po ba, Mr. Lopez?
I don't recall having ever to give oath of allegiance, Your Honor.
Hindi po, ganito lang kasimple. Ang Amerika nagre-require ng 100% allegiance. Ang ating bansa din sa Pilipinas, nagre-require rin po ng 100 allegiance sa kanyang mga mamamayan. Wala po sigurong pagtatalo doon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Lopez, you were born in America to Filipino parents. And because of the concurrent application of the national laws of the two states, nagkaroon po kayo ng dalawang citizenship, pagiging Amerikano at saka Pilipino. In the remote possibility that the Philippines declares war against the United States, which side will you take? The flag of your birth or the flag of your parents?
I'm a Filipino, Your Honor. I would take the side of the Philippines.
You will take the side of the Philippines.
Yes, Your Honor.
Despite the fact, on the assumption that the UN Embassy is hearing these proceedings, you will still state that you will side the Philippine flag. Tama po
Yes,
yun?
Your Honor, they are very well aware of my dual citizenship. This is not a new fact.
Kung ganun po, naalala ko po kasi yung huling tanong sa inyo ni Congressman Mike Defensor. Tinanong po kasi kayo on whether or not you have considered giving up your American citizenship if only to erase the doubts about allegiance at saka para naman po makapag-comply kayo doon sa mahigpit na requirement ng saligang batas. Ang narinig ko po kasing sinabi nyo, you have to correct me if I am wrong, pero ang sabi po ninyo, I will give up. Or you said, ito po, I quote this, that if conflict of interest arise, I would give up my American passport in a minute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yan nga po ninyo kami ng halimbawa, Mr. Lopez. Ano-ano po ba yung halimbawa ng mga conflicts of interest that you will finally be compelled to kiss your American citizenship goodbye?
I do not see a situation where that would occur, Your Honor. You give me the example, Your Honor.
Ano daw yun? Hindi ko, pakiulit po ninyo, Mr. Lopez.
I do not see a situation where I would be in a situation where I would have to choose between the U.S. and Philippine citizenship. Baka
Okay.
po ikaw pwede
Okay.
to define a situation.
Sinasabi po ninyo na wala po kayong nakikitang conflict of interest sa ngayon para kailangan mamili kayo sa pagitan ng gobyerno ng Amerika at saka ang ating gobyerno. Mr. Lopez, hindi po ba sapat na dahilan ang sinasabi ng ating saligang batas sa pagmimay-ari at pamamahala ng mga kumpanyang may kinalaman sa mass media at dapat Pilipino lamang ang bigyan ng pagkakataong makapamalakad at mag-ari? Hindi po ba isang halimbawa na ito ng isang mahigpit na conflict of interest? At kinakailangan nyo ng mamili sana, Mr. Lopez?
Hindi po. I think all my actions have been clearly on behalf of the Philippines. Everything that I've done is in the service of the Filipinos. So I don't see a situation where I am in conflict with the U.S. citizenship.
Mr. Lopez, nabasa na po ba ninyo yung Article 16, Section 11? Dito po pwede po kayong magpatulong sa inyong abogado sapagkat napakahigpit po ng kautusan na ito. Kanina po binanggit ko na, ang pagmimay-ari at pamamalakad ng mass media ay limitado lamang sa mga Pilipino, pati na yung korporasyon, kooperatiba, asosasyon, na dapat buong-buo ang pag-aari nila. Yun po yun eh. Walang puwang dito